These are the guys that you're going to see on Sunday, and he makes mincemeat out of them on his film. Look at him. I mean, he's just to the ground. It's like child's play. And he does it again with this guy. Like, you take that. Look, back it again. You take what? Say what? What's good, football fans? Back at you once again with another video. And here we are, just a couple of days away from the NFL draft. A place our franchise hopefully will be able to pull out at least one Hall of Famer or at least two blue chip players that we can actually get some use out of in the next couple of seasons. Now, I say at least two. Obviously, I want a lot more players that are going to contribute. But historically, if we can get two blue chip players or a Hall of Fame player out of this, I mean, I know that's a lot to ask for. We haven't been able to get one out of the bunch for a while. But I want to tell you, over the last couple of weeks, I've really kind of zeroed in on a handful of players. And the players that are at the top of my list, one of which is Witherspoon from Illinois, I just do not see that kid sliding to 16. And there's absolutely no way that Ron Rivera is going to move up to take him. So I think he's gone by the time the team picks. And I really did fall in love with the idea of having him on our defense. But beyond that, I do believe that the number one need on the team right now is at the tackle position. And that said, we got Charles Leno Jr. over at the left tackle spot, and kind of a big question mark at the other right tackle spot with Andrew Wiley and a couple other guys that maybe could play that position, even though I think Wiley would do better at the guard spot. If you watched any of the stuff on the film that I put out about him before, if you haven't seen it, it's right there in the upper right hand corner right now. You can click on it and check it out. But I believe he would play better at guard. So getting a right tackle would really help the team out tremendously, in my opinion. They do have Cornelius Lucas as well, but they could actually save some money on the salary cap by letting him go as well. After a quick look, I really do believe Sam Cosmi could probably be better off at a guard position. And looking at the tackle position in the draft, obviously Paris Johnson Jr. has been the overall top-rated tackle pretty much since any of these lists started or any of these mock drafts got to going. Now, if somehow or another he were to drift down to pick 16, I'd be down all day to just run to the podium at that point and take him. But I have some question marks about Broderick Jones. But the guy that I'm really centered in on is Darnell Wright from Tennessee. All 6'5", 333 pounds of nastiness. I like all of it. I want all of it on my team. And when I said nasty, I meant it. This dude is just borderline nasty all game long. He's a snatch and trap technician that, I mean, gets it done. The dude's funky. The guys that you're seeing him go against in this tape right here, I mean, this is the SEC that they're playing against. That's Jalen Carter right there that he's making look like a fool throwing in the mud. This is not just some run-of-the-mill, guy from the Big Ten or whatever you want to say. These are the guys that you're going to see on Sunday, and he makes mincemeat out of them on his film. Look at him. I mean, he's just to the ground. It's like child's play. And he does it again with this guy. Like, you take that. Look, back it again. You take what? Say what? You take that. I mean, he's completely handcuffing him. Look at that. Always moving, the defender constantly trying to shift their hands on him, and he's constantly moving to try to take that block off of him. I love the way that he does this thing, and I love the way he plays through the whistle. This guy just keeps on going. He's nasty. He throws him to the ground. I always tell everybody I love the hog mollies that'll put their body on the line and just smash them, just blah, land on them after the play. That's the nastiness we need on the line. That's who we need out front, taking the defenders off the edge. This is the guy we need protecting our quarterback. Now, I don't know what they're going to do in the Charles Leno camp. I've seen this cat, Darnell Wright, actually did play left tackle a little bit as well. But primarily, I'd feel more comfortable with him at right tackle after looking at the tape because, I mean, this dude is nasty. Look at him. All you got to do is watch the film and see how much just hostility is shown in this film. Look at that. I mean, he's manhandling that man right there to the ground. Nastiness, y'all. Nastiness. Look, I got to go back and look at that again. Watch him put that man to the ground. Just hostility in action. To the ground you go. Jalen Carter. plume. I mean, was that not like some hostile, situation right there? Like, did he not show hostility? Look, blow. He got him out of control. His feet were all over the place. Put the man to the ground. That's what we need right there. That's what we're missing on our offensive line. Some nastiness. Look at that. Nastiness. Wow. Oh, man, look at that. That's the kind of stuff I like to see. Like, I mean, look, dude is completely off of his feet right there. Watch. Bow. 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 Yeah, I like that. That's to me, that's nastiness. Ruthless aggression. Bow. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like that. See, I mean, what is there to not like about this cat? Like, okay, my guy's going to run inside. Okay, I'll help out the guy next to me. And he just crushes dude. Wow. Powerful, man. Powerful. He's got really quick feet for a big man, too. He can slide out a lot faster than most players his size. Look at that. I mean, he put that man to the ground like it won't nothing. Blow. Blow. Ooh. Blow. Yeah, sign me up. Darnell Wright. One thing I like about this kid, he's always looking for somebody else to block. And I can tell you, man, like I just love looking at the stat sheet of his and seeing that he started at one position or the other for 4 years, played in over 40 games. I really like to see stuff like that. I'm not generally the biggest person when it comes to like the Senior Bowl and stuff like that, but this guy was in the Senior Bowl and he was the MVP there for the week. A spot that the teammates of his actually vote on and put him in. But as I've already mentioned, the snatch and trap technician that he has become over the 4 years at Tennessee is unbelievable to watch on film. The dude is nasty. He could just grab somebody and handcuff him quick. And just like any other player, he does have his downfalls. Sometimes it's a little, talent over technique. Maybe his technique still needs some honing in on. Sometimes he gets a little ahead of himself. He's not the quickest guy, so when he hits that second level, he gets beat. And sometimes I've noticed when he pulls, he really, this play right here, this was actually one of the only plays of the year I saw on film where he actually got beat around the edge. Now you see the quarterback still got rid of the ball, but he got beat off the edge right there. And I didn't really see him get beat off the edge straight up by anybody else as far as the film went. I have noticed that sometimes he whiffs in the rushing game. Sometimes he completely misses blocks. I don't know what it is. It's just sometimes he just gets beat. I noticed sometimes also when he pulls that he tends to get all out of shape, out of sorts. I don't know what it is, but it's not impossible to beat him. So he's not like indestructible, so to speak. But I don't believe he gave up a sack last year at all. Y'all, listen how the strengths on this dude's scouting reports read like, okay? A large frame blocker with a thick torso and functional mass. Raw power courses through his body. Competes with a patient yet physical mindset and unleashes controlled violence when he sees the opportunity. Strikes with a stiff, full extension punch to knock rushers off balance. Able to knock down the reach of rushers and flashes the grip strength to snatch. Has enough quickness to shut down the corner. Rarely bullied. Reworks his balance for quick recoveries after a misstep. Keeps his feet and hips on the same page in the run game. His heavy hands allow him to displace defenders. Made an impressive jump in performance between his junior and senior seasons, decreasing his penalties from 10 in 2021 to only 2 in 2022. 1 false start and 1 for holding. Has starting experience at inside at guard and at both left and right tackle. Finished his college career with 34 straight starts. Now, like I said before, he does have some weaknesses. He's top heavy and resorts to waist bending at times, finds his weight too far out in front when he overextends, inviting defenders to toss him. His outside foot drifts, leaving him late to react versus inside moves. His hand position lacks discipline and he needs to stay more compact to answer different kinds of rush moves. Improved movement skills and knee bend, but lacks consistent twitch in his redirect, has trouble coming to a balance on a second level, relies more on brute strength as a run blocker than leverage points. Overall summary, a 4-year starter at Tennessee, lined up right at right tackle and head coach Josh Heupel's up-tempo spread offense. Overall, Wright will get himself into trouble when he sacrifices technique for his nasty demeanor, but he naturally defaults to his raw power and body control to constantly win in both the run and passing game. He is a plug-and-play right tackle, and some teams have him on their draft board as a starting guard. Now, he has a first to second round grade, number 24 overall, and I by no means am saying that I'm against, as I said already, taking a Paris Johnson, or even, taking a look at a Broderick Jones from Georgia. I don't think that Jones will roll out of the box ready to start. I don't know what we would do with Johnson either. If we would let Leno go, what would happen there? But if we make the pick at 16 and Witherspoon is already gone, which I'm 100% sure he will be, I think Wright is the guy to take. Now, some other guys that really caught my eyes, that Banks kid, Deonte Banks up there from Maryland. I believe he's like 6 foot, 197 pounds. That kid looks like he may have some talent above where his place, in the pecking order is, so to speak, right now. I think he might go a little higher than what his maybe late first, second round grade has him sitting at. One thing about cornerbacks this year, though, is this draft is deep with corners, but it's not deep with tackles who could start immediately. Another guy that I have my eyes on that I think is unbelievable and who would be a guy that I would definitely not be upset if they picked up, even though he does play the guard spot, and that's Osiris Torrance. That guy is a freaking monster as well. To me, he's more of a balanced kind of lineman, rather what you get with Wright, where he's kind of like an overpowering, nasty, just get up in your face and throw you to the ground. But Torrance can get in there and get it done too. He's 6'5", 330 himself. That guy doesn't give up sacks either. I mean, all you gotta do is go check the stat box out. Some of the guys behind him, I really like Kelee Ringo from Georgia, cornerback, 6'1", I believe. I like Dawand Jones, right tackle from Ohio State, who I think could be a sleeper. If they were to go corner first round, maybe Dawand Jones, might be somebody they can look at in the second round. A nice tackle there. I'm not sure if he starts year one or not, but it's something at a position we need. We need to get that position right. And he's 6'8", 374 pounds, y'all. And he can get around a lot faster than what you probably think. And he's only 21 years old. So if he needs a year to get right, I mean, hey. One thing about the draft is it's just so full of names. I can sit here all day and name names and just name more names and more names. But Jack Campbell from Iowa is a name that really has just taken a hold of my eyes. If they took him in the second round, I wouldn't be upset. If somehow or another he slipped to the third round and we were to get him there, I would be just unbelievably happy. I would be completely blown away that he was even there, honestly. But I'm not real big into doing all the mock drafts because it gets so crazy after the first and second round, because everything shifts and changes so much. Teams have guys that they have, maybe a higher value ranking on over the next team, and they might take a guy who's 2 rounds above what this guy thought he would be, and it just gets wild in the draft. So to me, it's kind of a waste of time to go past the second round. I feel like this team has to add a starter on night one. I feel like they have to. They need to get in there and take care of one of these weaknesses. And right now, the biggest sore thumb on the team is right tackle. In my opinion, if you can't get one of those big names at corner that's going to come in and be a starter day one, you're kind of wasting your time right now with a slot corner, or a guy that might play a little bit of safety and a little bit of slot corner, kind of plug in every once in a while, over a guy that might start day one and contribute day one and help you save money day one by cutting somebody else who's just dead weight, and then you could shift the rest of the line over. I know there's some question marks maybe what they're going to do with Wiley, the guy they got from Kansas City. If you take Andrew Wiley and shift him over to right guard, and then you shift Sam Cosmi over to left guard, then you're really starting to maybe do something there. Or maybe you use Sam Cosmi as a swing player who could play several different spots. You know, they need depth. If one thing has been proven over the last 5 years, it doesn't matter which team you cheer for in the NFL, they're going to have injuries, and you're going to have guys to plug in, to fill in those moments. And if you don't have them, you're going to be in trouble. I personally would like the team to be able to move on from Andrew Norwell as well. You know, Chris Paul showed a little bit of promise in that last game last year. There's still some question marks on his pass protection. So he may not, you know, come out and win that spot, but he's going to compete for it. That's another good thing. You like to see these young guys coming in and competing. I heard the coaching staff was highly impressed with him. Even if he is depth in year two, that's a good sign. But if you bring in a right tackle, a big behemoth that's going to change everything, your offensive line gets better at every single position because you can shift over. You don't have to look at it as in this guy has to play this role. No, he doesn't. These guys have position flex. They can move around. That is what Rivera prides himself on bringing these guys in so that he could do that kind of stuff with them. I think Darnell Wright fits that mold perfectly. He might actually fit that mold better than any of the other tackles that are in there. I would be willing to bet you that he's higher on their board than he is on other teams' boards. Just my opinion. But for those that are wondering, I am going to be making videos as the draft proceeds. I'm going to start off night one after the first pick is made. Obviously, we have no clue what's going to happen yet, whether it's going to be, they may not even make the pick at 16. You know, this team is notorious for moving back if they can find a draft partner or whatever the case may be. I know last year they were able to move back, get some nice picks in return. Turned out pretty good for the team, and they ended up picking at 16, which is where they're at right now. It's actually looking to be maybe the third straight year they pick at 16 if they don't move down. It'll be interesting to see what happens if they do move down, because then that opens up a whole nother ball of options. It would be unbelievably good if they would move back and be able to get Darnell Wright. I would be over here going ape shit. At any rate, make sure you keep an eye out for those videos as they come out. I definitely want to have something on night two, and then definitely on Saturday. There's going to be multiple videos probably on Saturday. Wanted to stop for a second and give all of my people that are on the membership roll over there that have joined the channel, all of you a big shout out. I appreciate every single one of you. We're going to try to do something different with the membership package this year. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to try to work something out different. And I want to let everybody else know that I do appreciate your support on the channel. You don't necessarily have to give money to show your appreciation and your support. I just want to let you all know that I see y'all. I appreciate y'all. Now let's go get some players that make this team better. Y'all take it easy. Peace.